we're much better off waiting for a vaccine that'll alter our DNA for good. I mean, you don't want to have to take it every year, do you? And what could possibly go wrong with rushing it? Maybe that's the idea. I suppose there's the fact that they've never had any liability for damages because of some historical artifact of them being military interventions. But I suppose that's the price you pay for only having to wait a year or so. But of course nobody wants to listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on that. Just another lightweight conspiracy nut like his uncle. Maybe the most famous and progressive president of America ever. I mean, they've had the flu vaccine for around 80 years, and though it's never eliminated at once, it's sometimes had an almost 40% success rate. I mean, the whole thing just makes perfect sense. Medications over 90% we have right now, and vaccines less than 40% we have to wait ages for. Let's go for the vaccines. I can't understand why anyone would have a problem with that logic. And it's not like every little thing has become politicized. So, even though our fine rulers seemed pretty slow on the uptake at first, they've really taken this situation by the horns now. Really seized it. I'm so glad. We all just want to be safe. I mean, it seemed like there were months when all they had to do was stop a few planes from one country. But hey, I guess shutting down the whole world and printing incredible amounts of money into unfathomable debt to give mostly to the rich that they'll never repay to the poor any more than they ever did in 2008 was always going to be necessary. So, back to my statement. I see now that all our politicians are all lovely people and only have our best interests at heart. I realise now they don't ever lie about anything. What was I thinking? They're unconcerned about power, take full responsibility whenever they make mistakes, and always take the high road, only caring about doing what is right. I have nothing critical to say about our good leaders. And the whole corporate and money system's only been set up compassionately for our benefit too. Fair and equitable through and through. And the fact that this whole thing's only made the rich way richer and the poor way poorer and less disempowered, just an unfortunate coincidence. That timing wasn't fortuitous at all. Nothing at all to do with debt creation getting out of hand. I mean, I keep cheering on printing stimulus money to devalue the worth of our dollars. Our banks and CEOs needed way more than ordinary people to keep that liquidity rolling. I mean, it obviously does far more good buying back their own stock till the valuations bear no relation to reality whatsoever, than people spending it on cornflakes and underwear and such, so circulating it in the actual economy, because the stock market keeps going up, as they say on the news, and clearly that's the best barometer there is for how the economy's really going. I mean, there's no way the markets are rigged and manipulated, the wild swings engineered with leverage, those derivative thingies that even Warren Buffett described as weapons of financial mass destruction, to suck out all the actual value without creating anything. Look, they're all really nice people in finance, just trying to assist in true price discovery. Not greedy or selfish at all. I mean, gee, if I had a daughter, I'd want her to marry a rich guy like that. Nice suit. He's bound to look after her and treat her with the same respect. And who needs a middle class anyway? We can just have one big underclass. I mean, I find all the reports in the news about every little word that the Federal Reserve says covered so lovingly. Really interesting, because they have such a spotless record in steering our ship to better and better times for the good of everyone. Those guys are so smart, so caring. I mean, it makes no sense that the money guys would want the economy to crash. I mean, it's not as if when everything's broken down and the middle class destroyed, that they'll be the only ones with the capital to buy it up.